The main road between Christchurch and the West Coast will be closed until at least lunchtime on Monday after a 20-metre section was washed out last night. The region has been lashed by downpours over the last 36 hours, with parts of Westland getting more than half a metre of rain. A woman from the Gloriavale Christian community drowned after a stop bank on the swollen Haupiri River gave way. The last of the severe weather warnings for the coast was lifted about 2 hours ago, meaning that the clean-up can now begin for about a dozen properties where floodwaters have made their way into garages and across lawns. Conan Young reports.
Road workers face a huge job over the weekend repairing the washed out section of road near Haupiri and getting the main road between Christchurch and the West Coast open again. The Transport Agency's systems manager, Pete Connors, says it won't be an easy job.
The bridge is still there, but we've lost the approaches basically. So we're going to be spending a couple of days getting that. But whilst creek levels and river levels are up, it's almost impossible to get in, impossible to carry out the repairs because we've got to get in the creek bed.
Having the road out of action will add an hour and a half to travel times for people driving from Christchurch to the West Coast, who will now have to use the Lewis Pass instead. The owner of the Haupiri Hotel, Jodie Walkington, says half of her customers travel via Arthur's Pass and she's anxious to get the road open as soon as possible.
November and December are really busy months for us, so we've got normally quite a few tourists coming through. We have had a couple of cancellations. I've just had another customer rang me probably about 10 minutes ago and said he's booked in on Wednesday next week and just a bit concerned that he might not be able to make it.
The policeman who led the search for the woman who drowned in the Haupiri River last night, Senior Sergeant Brent Cook, says she was walking along a stop bank when it gave way and she fell in. Rescuers tried in vain to find her in the swollen river until late into the evening. Her body was found downstream by a member of the public this morning. Brent Cook says victim support are working with Gloriavale in helping the family.
Yes, so we'll be working with the community, but mainly the family, as we would in any other case. We'll just act on the usual coronial process, and we'll act on the direction from the coronial office, and that'll also be in consultation, obviously, with the family as well.
The Grey District Mayor, Tony Cockshawn, extended his condolences.
Our heart goes out to the Gloriavale Christian community member that lost their life in the floodwaters. She was a mum of 11. So, the Christian community are part of our community here in Greymouth. They're down here all the time, shopping and helping out in the community. So we really feel deeply for the loss.
The West Coast south of and including Hokitika bore the brunt of the bad weather, with about a dozen homes in the Hokitika area getting floodwaters through yards and garages. A slip near Harihari caused a creek to divert and make its way directly for the home of Helen Clarkson. It deposited a foot of silt and debris over her garden and inside her garage and ripped up her driveway. Helen Clarkson says she and her husband battled to divert as much of the water as possible away from their home using old tyres and pieces of wood.
We went out and diverted the water that was coming through the garage towards the house, so it tried to stop it from running under the house because it's built up silt and damaged sort of loosened piles.
Helen Clarkson says they're now waiting for the water to recede from around their house so they can begin the massive job of removing all of the silt and debris.
We have had a lot of offers of help through Facebook and things like that, so it'll just be a matter of waiting for the rain to stop and being able to have a look and see what needs to be done.
The main road south from Hokitika to the glaciers reopened at 2 o'clock this afternoon, bringing relief to stranded tourists after slips made the road impassable for yesterday and much of today. About 60 dairy farmers along the route were cut off as well, meaning milk trucks couldn't get through and milk had to be dumped. It's been a busy time for Fleur and Jed Longi, who run a dairy farm south of Hokitika.
Absolutely atrocious. We've had roads inundated with water. Doughboy Creek burst its banks. There's been whole trees floating down the rivers. Calves have to be moved to higher ground.
Coasters will get a chance to dry out in the next couple of days, with fine weather forecast for most of the region this weekend. For Checkpoint, ko Conan Young tēnei.